Hello everyone, this is Lawyer Cameron with an immigration update in English. Surprise, surprise. I know over the last few years, a lot of you have made requests to me asking that I make videos in English. And I've shied away from doing that for the sheer reason that majority of my audience who watches my videos tends to be from South Asia, India, Pakistan and Bangladesh. But given the unprecedented requests that I've had over the last few years, I will endeavour to make more videos in English in the coming weeks and months, so fear no. In this video today, we will discuss the new private life categories introduced by the Home Office on 20th of June. We will look at the new fee waiver policy for entry clearance applications. And lastly, I will discuss the current state of affairs with the Zambrano applications. We start off with the new private life categories introduced by the Home Office on 20th June 2022. It's good news if you have children, especially if your child was born in the UK and has completed 7 years in the UK, having lived here, he can apply for ILR. So previously, if a child was born in the UK and they had lived here for 7 years, they would apply under the private life category and be granted a 2.5-year visa under the 10-year route to settlement. However, under these new rules, if a child is born in the UK and has completed 7 years living here, they can apply for indefinite leave to remain. The second category which the Home Office have introduced is for children born outside the UK who have completed 7 years in the UK, who then apply to regularise their stay, and should they complete 60 months, which is 5 years, they can apply for ILR. So contrast this with a child born in the UK, they can apply for ILR once they've completed 7 years in the UK, irrespective of the fact that if they have leave to remain or not. However, a child born outside the UK must have valid leave for at least 60 months before they can apply for ILR. And the third category which the Home Office have introduced, which, well, isn't a new category, but again, a concession nevertheless, is if you're between 18 to 25 and you've completed more than half your life in the UK, and you've had leave to remain for at least 5 years, you can apply for ILR, which is good news for young adults who want to study at university and who do not have ILR and could not benefit from student funding. They can now bypass this issue by applying for ILR once they've completed 60 months in the UK. So very good news there. The next topic which I wanted to discuss was fee waivers for entry clearance applications. We know previously the Home Office had a policy in place for entry clearance applications. However, it was quite difficult to satisfy. You had to essentially show that you were from a war-torn country or where there was a humanitarian crisis going on, and for that reason you could not afford to pay the Home Office fees. However, with the new policy, the criteria is now based on affordability, similarly to Appendix FM applications, whereby if you cannot afford to pay the fees for an entry clearance application, you can apply for a fee waiver. However, I must stress one important thing here. If you go through the guidance at least 20 times, it stresses to the caseworker that they must determine if the applicant could not pay for the fees with future savings. So it may be that whilst you do not have the money to pay for the application fees at this present time, it may deem with your salary and with your potential earnings in the future that you may have the savings in the future to pay for the Home Office fees, and for that reason your waiver application might be refused. So my advice to anyone watching this video will be, if you are thinking of making a fee waiver application for an entry clearance application, make sure to present all your financial circumstances to the caseworker so he or she can determine whether you could afford to pay the fees in the future or not. The last update which I wanted to share with you was Zambrano applications, and unfortunately it's some bad news. The Home Office has now reconsidered its position, and it has deemed that anyone with valid leave to remain under Appendix FM cannot benefit from the provisions of the Zambrano policy, which therefore means a number of people who currently hold leave to remain will not be able to benefit. And this has been a long-standing saga for the last 2 years. We go back in 2020, the case of Akinsanya, where the High Court ruled that if you had leave to remain, you could benefit from the Zambrano concession and you could apply for ILR if you were the primary carer of a British child. The Home Office refused to accept this decision. They appealed against it, and the appeal was put before the Court of Appeal. The Court of Appeal agreed with the Home Office, whereby it stated that if a person has valid leave to remain, a 2.5-year visa, they cannot benefit from the provisions of Zambrano. However, what the Court of Appeal did add was the current definition of Zambrano by the Home Office was incorrect, because if you looked at the rules at the time, prior to this reconsideration, it did not exclude anyone with leave to remain from applying or benefiting from the Zambrano provisions. And this is what the Court of Appeal ordered the Home Office to clarify its position, and that's what it's done. It's now confirmed that anyone with leave to remain cannot benefit from the Zambrano applications. Nevertheless, anyone wanting to apply for Zambrano can still make an application, a late application, without having to give any reasonable ground decisions by the 25th of July. Any application made after the 25th of July, you would have to provide valid reasons for why an application was made after 30th June 2021. But on the sounds of it, it doesn't look like good reading for anyone who has leave to remain under Appendix FM. It looks highly unlikely that you'll be able to benefit from the Zambrano provisions. I hope you guys have found today's video useful. If there's any questions or topics that you'd like me to cover in my next video, feel free to post in the comment section. Please like and subscribe so we can get more and more people to benefit from the content that we make. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. Thank you for watching. Until next time, goodbye.